There's a fly somewhere.
Ngiye kuyibicira.
Watch the camera. Hi guys, assalamu alaikum. My name is Asia. Oh, I was looking at that's literally my whole video. I was looking there. Hi guys, assalamu alaikum. My name is Asia. Welcome to my channel, and if you're already a subscriber, welcome back. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about ways to increase your Iman, ways to keep yourself close to God, and I have a special guest for today's video. Introduce yourself.
Hawa.
So her name is Hawa. She's my cousin. A lot of you think she's my sister, but she's my cousin.
We're sisters and cousins at the same time.
There you go. Perfect. And yeah, so she's gonna be here to put her input on what she thinks, and let's get started. Okay, so number one, I feel like the major thing for me is making your prayers very personal, not rushing through them, right? Not being like Allah Akbar, and then we're done, you know what I mean? Like actually taking time to think of what you're saying, taking time, which I still have to work on this, but like taking time to like understand, if you don't understand Arabic, like kind of like looking into it, like, and figuring out what are you saying when you're praying, and taking the time after prayer to like make dua and pray sunnah and kind of just like perfecting your prayer for the sake of God. And yeah, I feel like that's like a major one for me. What do you have?
I mean, my major thing is also salah. So I believe that you as a Muslim, you can't really get close to God if you're not doing the minimum of what He asked you to do. So, of what He commands us to do, should I say, which is observing your 5 pillars, right? And if you're observing the 5 pillars of Islam, you know that the main one is prayer, so your salah. And so that's basically the main thing. Like if you're praying, and then that's what you're obligated to do, yes. Yeah. So you're obligated to pray. So if you pray now, that once you've done that fard or that mandatory prayer that you should be doing to God, now the next step while you're still in your prayer position or prayer space is to actually go and try to now ask God more on a deeper level, right? Like
taking that further step.
Yes. Yeah. Like we know that if you've gone to like madrasas or like Islamic schools or any sort of teaching, you would know that it's always good to make dua after salah. Like there's some really good dhikrs and dua, or if what else, sunnahs. So when you do those, you're getting closer to God, because God does not ask you to do those things. That's your option, like your personal requests, kind of, that you want to ask God and make sure that you kind of build a relationship with God, right? Yeah. So that's my major one.
And another thing I wanted to add with dua is that like a lot of people, when they think of making dua, they think of like the things that you have to say in Arabic, right? They think of all of those kind of like things that you hear the imam say, but that's not the case. If you don't know it, don't beat yourself up and be like, I don't know how to say any of this, so I'm not gonna say nothing. You can say it in English, in whatever language that you speak. Yes. You can ask God anything you want in any language, and He understands every single thing that you're saying. So don't think that everything that you say while you're making dua has to be in Arabic. Even if nothing is in Arabic, that is okay. Just make sure that you have that connection, you have that intention of getting closer to God.
That's good. That's good to point out. Yeah. Like, I mean, there are some recommended du'as that you could do before you actually ask God for what you really want. Some are from the Quran, some are from Hadith, some are like some of the du'as that our Prophet, of course, practiced. So if they basically kind of make it easy for you to get closer to God and actually ask God after you've praised Him in a very satisfying way, right? So other than that, any dua you make, it could be in any language, you could be sitting, could be sleeping, you could be walking. Yeah, so dua is very key after your salahs and your sunnahs, like a good way to build a relationship with God.
Do you have any other points you would like to add?
Like in terms of getting closer to God?
Things that people could do.
Just being a nice person in general, like just always being conscious of God. So if you know people who are needy, you could, charity I feel like it's all built within the pillars of Islam, right? Just giving charity or zakat or sadaqah and all that kind of things, like always just being mindful of Allah's creation and just the consciousness of God and helping out and being a nice person. Just not because you want to prove a point to people, because you want God to actually bless you. You want to be a good person to the Almighty. So
and things that you could do to kind of increase your consciousness to God and kind of just make yourself even be more kinder is one of the major things is fasting. So we know that the Prophet fasted Thursdays and Mondays, and those are things that you could do just randomly when you feel like you just feel away from God and you just feel like your life is just like a mess. Try to fast a Monday, try to fast a Thursday, and kind of just take that time to reflect on your life, right? And we all know that fasting is it humbles us. It makes us think of the things that we don't have in this dunya, the things that we do have in this dunya. So fasting is crucial in order for you to actually realize why you're in this earth, why are you on this earth, right? So that's one big thing.
That's good.
And then another thing I wanted to also point out, which is huge, is having that connection with the Quran and actually reading the Quran and not even trying to finish the Quran, memorize the Quran. Even if you feel so discouraged to read the Arabic version, start with the English version. Because what I realized is that when I started with the English version, at some point I was like, you know what, I'm just going to read English, because every single time I read Arabic, I lose the motivation to read it. So I started with the English version. I was like, hey, I want to see what this book is about. I don't just want to read it in Arabic because that's just the norm, right? So I read the English version and I was like, hey, this is so deep. This is actually real things. But because of the love of what I was reading, I wanted to read it in Arabic just to see how it sounds.
Even initially, we were asked to recite the Quran, right? So it's a sunnah, knowing how to. It's kind of a sunnah for us to know how to read the Quran in its original language.
It's beloved by God, right? So obviously I want to do as many things that will make God happy with me, right? So I would read the Arabic version, and I wouldn't read a huge piece, just a small piece is fine. And then once after I finish the Arabic version, I'll move on to the English version. That way it's I know what I just read, right? And then it kind of just shows you how strong that powerful piece was in Arabic, but you just didn't realize how strong it was because you didn't know what it meant until you read the English part, right? So that's one huge thing, just taking 15 minutes out of your day.
It doesn't even have to be 15, 10 minutes.
Honestly, and just read a short section of the Quran. And eventually, you're just gonna keep increasing your time and try to implement the things that are in the Quran to your personal life as well.
Yes. Another, I don't know. Do I have another point? So another side to reading and keeping yourself closer to God is also reading Hadith books or prophet stories. Other than just reading the Quran, like the way prophets lived or the Sahabas lived, their stories kind of like motivate you. They motivate you to make more charitable deeds, more good deeds, more Islamic practices. Even just like some hadith, you read them and you're like, mashallah, like I want to like implement this in my life, right? So it's like, it's just a way of life, which is Islam basically is a way of our life. That's how we should aim to live by the Sunnah, following the Quran, right? So if you read those kind of books for motivation, and also to gain knowledge on how our founders in Islam, if that makes sense, how they lived, so that because the way they lived, it was to please Allah. There's nothing else, right? They wanted to please Allah. They wanted to follow a path that will lead them to Jannah. So if I find that reading such books, even if you don't have a lot of people don't have access to these books, but there are some great hadith online. You can find them online, or you can even watch some really good documentaries that are giving like a lesson on a life of a prophet, or hadith, explaining certain hadith books, right? So I find those also motivational to kind of get closer to God.
Yeah. And before this video gets really long, I wanted to add one big point, which is the people that you surround yourself with, who you're hanging out with. That is going to influence you 1000%. So finding those friends that are, good influences, finding those people that are not going to lead you towards doing things that are just going to pull you away, even further away from God, is important, because trust me, the people that you're with, the people that you're surrounding with, they are going to have a huge influence on how you see the deen, what you do to please Allah. Like, do you even do anything to please Allah? Like, do you have do you realize that what you're doing is wrong, right? So just make sure that the people that you're surrounding with, the people that your friends, your family, all those people are good influences on you, and they are actually motivating you to be a better person, to be a better Muslim, and to just overall live your life with a purpose, basically.
Yes.
So that is it for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed that video. And make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys. Assalamu alaikum.